Welcome to the Antigua and Barbuda International Institute of Technology. We at ABIIT are glad to welcome the new students for the 2015-2016 year. Now this video is to help students navigate to our Elearn website. Now for those who are doing online courses, this is a must. So how do we get there? Now our ABIIT main page and our URL abiit.edu.ag takes you to the page you're looking at on screen now. But to get to the eLearn page, you have to scroll down just a little bit, and there is an e-learning link that takes you to our eLearn page. So this is what I'm going to click on now. Now here's our eLearn page. Now the other method of getting to this page is to actually type the URL in as is, and that is elearn.abiit.edu.ag/Moodle, and this is the direct link here. Now you must sign in with your username and password. This can be acquired from your IT department at ABIIT. So I'm going to type in the username and password. And I'm going to log in. Now once you are enrolled in a course, you'll see all your courses listed on the middle section of the page. Notice the page is split up into blocks. There's the left section of the page, there's the middle section, and then there's the right section. So whatever course you would have been enrolled in will be seen in your My Courses section. So I'm going to click on this first course of mine, and we're going to just navigate and describe some of the things you might see in a typical eLearn course. Now let's look at the navigation section. Now some of the websites may be a little different because the instructors would have put on certain things and moved certain things to certain areas. So all these blocks are usually in this location. So navigation. Some of the online courses may require you to change your profile. So how do you do that? Here's the My Profile tag on the navigation block, and I'm going to click on it, and it allows me to view my profile. Okay, now to edit this profile page, there's the administration block on your left, and it has that edit profile button. I'm going to click on that. Now the instructor may require you to give a description of yourself, and this is where you'll be putting that information. You're free to put as little or as much information as you wish here. And below that, for the user picture, you may also be required to change your profile picture, especially in the online environment where the instructor and the other students would love to see who they're corresponding with. Now there are two methods for adding the profile picture here. There's the drag and drop method, and then there's the add a picture method by way of, it's kind of like adding a email attachment. So the easiest method is to drag and drop. So let's show you that one. Now I'm going to locate a photo. I'm using one of my sample pictures, and the drag and drop method simply says that I find this picture in my folder and I drag it from the location where it sits, and holding down my left mouse button, and I'm keeping it held. I'm moving that photo, and you notice the move tag is attached to the photo, and I'm dropping it into the area that's listed, and you'll notice that it's going to load. And once it's finished loading, you'll have a little thumbnail of what that picture looks like. Now of course the preference here is for a photo of your face, so we can see exactly who we're speaking with. There we go. So here's my koala picture. And once I'm finished with updating my profile, you notice the other sections allow you to put in additional names, mention some interests, and some optional information. Maybe you want somebody to know, the other students or the instructor to know what your Skype ID is, if you have a certain web page that you may have as a personal site, any phone number, mobile phone number, address. This information can also be put in. And notice the tag says optional. So once you're through and you click on update profile, then the koala picture would well, in my case, would become the profile picture, and it will be seen up here on the top of the page. And so anybody coming in to look at you or click on your name as a participant in a course will see your photo. Okay, so there we go. Now back to navigating on the course. Now I'm going to click on the breadcrumb list, and this is what a breadcrumb list is. It usually shows at the top of the page, and it shows where on the website you have navigated to. So I'm going to head back to the home page because I need to get back to my course. And back to talking about the other things that we'll find on a typical eLearn course. So I just looked at the profile section and how to edit it. And now we're going to look at the upcoming events section. Now anything that is due, anything that is currently open, it shows up in the upcoming events. Some instructors may put a calendar here as well, and you'll see a highlight on the date on the calendar to tell you that you have assignments that are due. So the first thing I recommend students to do is come in, look at the upcoming events, see what's due, when, what time, what days, and that will, and of course integrate that into your personal calendar. You know, you guys work with your mobile phones and your smartphones. Put that information in and set it as a reminder to yourself so you will never be late when it comes to these assignments. Now the other thing you might find useful is the participants. If you look at participants, there's a participants tag. You'll be able to see all the other students and the instructor that are in the course with you at the time. And you can actually click on somebody's name in the list and actually send them a message. So especially when it comes to group collaboration and you need to get your message through to the other student, send your group mate a message by going to the participants tab and clicking on the name of the student that you want to send a message to, and there's the send a message button, and you type what you have to say, and once they log in they will see a pop-up that shows that they have a message that's going out to them. Alright, using my breadcrumb list, I'm going to go back to the main page for my course, and let's navigate some more. So we mentioned the profile section, we mentioned the participants, we've mentioned the upcoming events block. Now let's look at what's in the mid section of this. We'll get into the grades shortly. Now some or most of the courses will have listed the course outline and in whatever form, whether it's a Word document or PDF, and you can click on this Word document and read all about what the course is all about. The other thing you'll notice is the attendance. Once you are in an online course or any of the other courses, yes, you are going to be monitored for how regularly you do log in. And what you're seeing here, it says present, late, excused, and absent. This may change depending on how the instructor has set up the attendance record to look, and it will show you what your attendance is like. Of course, if you have queries, you will obviously correspond with your instructor to at least let them know, to make a change in the attendance record to reflect the right record. Let's get back to the main page. Other times in some courses you will see that there are files posted for students to click on, and these can include PowerPoint presentations and Word documents, PDF files, links to websites or URLs, links to pages. But the first thing I want to look at is an assignment. So these documents that they post on the website can be clicked on at any time, and they are there for your viewing. But what about an assignment? A typical assignment, and I have an assignment 1 here, will have a due date, and it will tell you how much time is left before this due date is up. So it may have instructions, or your instructions for the assignment may be given previously or in another document, And when it comes to the submission of a file, here's what you may typically see. It says submission status. It means I have not made an attempt on this. Grading status, if it was graded or not. When it is due, from the day down to the time, and the time that is remaining. How many days or minutes or hours do I have left before I add a submission? So how do I add a submission to the website for my instructor to grade it for me? Here's the add submission button. I'm going to click on it. And just like updating a profile, the short method would be to drag and drop the file here. But let's go the long way. If you didn't feel comfortable with the drag and drop method, the longer method goes something like this. We're going to click on the add button and making sure that the upload a file section is selected, and I'm going to browse for the file that I wish to upload. File the file wherever I've stored it, whether it's on my flash drive coming off of my cloud storage or in my documents folder, wherever it is listed. Once I find it and I open it, and once I'm satisfied that this is the file I'm going to submit, I'm going to click on upload this file. Now the beauty about uploading the file is you are allowed to upload the file as a draft, and you are allowed, once it is in draft mode, to make changes to your file submission before you actually send it in. But once it is sent, as in it is submitted for grading, and it is submitted for grading for good, then you are no longer allowed to make changes to the file that you would have sent. Okay, seems like that file is taking a little longer than I hoped, so I'm going to try for another file. Okay, there we go. So the file you would have chosen to upload will show up in the file submission box. And once you click on Save Changes, this is the file that you are planning to send to the instructor for grading. There we go. Now notice the Edit Submission button. You can make changes to this file, but once the due date is closed off, typically, you cannot make a change to your submission. So how do you make a change? If you click on the Edit Submission button, you are allowed to remove your file. Notice there's a Delete button, and change it to something else. Now sometimes some settings may be set by the instructor that will cause you to have to declare that the document that you're sending is your document and your document alone. And of course, you know, we do have issues with plagiarism, so we want to make sure that we avoid things like this when submitting files for grading. So this is how one submits a document for grading. I'm going to go back to the main page and let's look at a typical quiz. A typical quiz. So here's a quiz one that's sitting on this course page, and it will show me how many times I can take this quiz. That's the attempts that I'm allowed. I have one. When the quiz will open and when it will close, and how much time I have to do this quiz. So I'm going to click on Attempt Quiz now. And if I'm sure I want to start, I'm going to click on Start Attempt. Now this quiz has 20 questions in it. Now note to students who are doing quizzes, this particular quiz shows all 20 questions on one page. Some instructors might show only 5 per page at one time. So it means you see the first 5 and then you have to answer and click Next to move on and submit those responses. Others may only show 1 question at a time per page. And also, you may notice that some instructors might set the quizzes so that you are free to navigate, as in you can skip forward to question 20 go backwards to question 5, and others may set the navigation so that you can only do it in the sequence that you receive it, and you cannot skip forward and you cannot go back. So please note that the instructions would be stated, so make sure you read the instructions that the instructor would have given you pertaining to your particular quiz. Now, quizzes come in all sorts of forms and shapes, but typically you'll find true and false questions, and this is a matter of clicking the radio buttons. You might find multiple choice questions. Some may have fill in the blank answers. Some may have questions that you have to type in a paragraph or two. Of course, the instructor will be grading those. And some of them might even have a drag and drop feature to it. So you never know what you're going to see in your quiz. Some may have pictures as well. So a typical quiz is usually set up in kind of like this format that you're seeing on the page. Alright, so when you are sure that you are finished with your quiz and you click on next, if you would have missed something, it will indicate it to you. It says not yet answered. And if you're sure you want to go back and answer it, you simply click on the question number, head back to it, and you'll get an idea as to which question you would have missed. And when you are truly sure that you are finished, then you will click on submit all and finish. And notice the timer is actually running down. Now note to students who are doing quizzes, once the timer is set and the time would have elapsed, usually the software will submit your quiz for you, whether you're finished or not. So beware of that. Okay. So that's enough about quizzes and assignments. What about forums? If you are in an online course and you are required to respond to a forum, here's what a forum might look like. Some forums will ask you to post your own discussion question and other students will respond. And some courses will post a single question and you need to respond. So, for example, this forum says, discuss the importance of technology in the classroom and its impact on learning. If I'm supposed to be responding to this, I must click on the reply button and I'll have to state what I think about the particular topic at hand. Okay, when I'm sure that I'm complete with what I wish to say to the forum, I can click post to forum, and that information, and I have 30 minutes in which to change it, of course. I can actually edit and remove it if I had so chosen. And that post will show up as part of the forum discussion. Now, other students coming in and reading my post can reply to me, and they do so by clicking on the reply button. And so you're building a conversation around a particular topic or topics that other students would have posted. And this generally is a requirement for the online sessions that you may have. Now heading back to the main page. The grades. Now all the activities in the website are usually linked to the grade book. So if you complete a quiz, your grade ends up in the grade book. If you submit an assignment and the instructor grades it, you're heading to the grade book. So let's look at the grades. Now, since I have nothing graded as yet, it's simply showing me the categories that my grades are going to. I have an attendance category. I have a quiz category. I have an assignments category. And I have the course total. So I have one quiz and one assignment at present, and once those grades are filling in, my total grade will show up in the course total section at the bottom of the screen. Any discrepancies that you have with your grades, of course, you would then go to your instructor and find out what's going on. Feel free to message your instructors, because sometimes they forget to grade certain items. I'd probably missing it or forgot about it, but it happens. But do feel free to contact the instructor to find out why you got a grade or why you did not get a grade for a certain item, and I'm sure they'll go in and try to fix and resolve your problem. So heading back to the main page. So as a student on the Elearn website, navigation should be fairly simple. Now that you've seen this video, we've discussed how to change your profile and the profile picture. We've discussed how to look at participants and send messages to them. We've discussed how to see what's in the attendance record. We've seen that courses may contain PowerPoints, PDFs, Word documents. We've looked at a typical assignment. We've looked at a typical quiz. We've looked at a forum setting. We mentioned the upcoming events and the importance of checking to see what is due when. And lastly, we looked at the grades and the course total and the grades that may be listed for each item that you will have done while you're doing this course, whatever course it is that you're doing on the Elearn site. Now, of course, when you are through, we suggest that you log out. And here's the section to log out of the course. And it actually asks you if you're sure you want to log out, and we're going to continue. And this is pretty much how one navigates the Elearn website at the Antigua and Barbuda International Institute of Technology.